Welcome back to our channel. Before we dive into yet another fascinating and mysterious stories, I would like to invite you to watch, to like, and subscribe to the channel. Also activate the notification sound. Today, we explore a unique story of the mystery man who never died. According to the Bible, death is the one thing every person born into this world must face. The Bible reminds us in Romans 5:12 that death entered the world because of sin, and since then, it has come to all people. It's a reality we cannot escape. Our time will come one day. But did you know there was a man who defied this principle? A man who never tasted death and was taken away in the most extraordinary way? Who was this man? What made him so special that he bypassed the grave? Get ready. To explore this incredible mystery, join us as we uncover the hidden truths behind his remarkable story and discover what made him different. You won't want to miss this fascinating journey into the miraculous. Stay tuned, because what we're about to share might just change how you see life and death forever. Enoch, a man who never tasted death, stands as one of the most remarkable figures in the Bible. He wasn't a descendant of Cain or Abel, but came through Adam and Eve's third son. From this family line came many great names, including his great-grandson Noah, who would later play a key role in God's plan before the Great Flood, in a time filled with moral decay and sin. The world was becoming increasingly wicked. People's thoughts and actions were continuously evil, and humanity strayed far from its Creator. Yet, in the midst of this darkness, one man stood as a beacon of righteousness. Enoch. He was the seventh generation from Adam, a direct descendant through the line of Seth, and the father of Methuselah, the oldest man in the Bible, who lived 969 years. Enoch's lineage connected him directly to the patriarchal line leading to Noah, an important figure in God's overarching plan for redemption. Enoch was not an ordinary man. His life marked a significant deviation from the sinful tendencies of his contemporaries, while others around him were falling deeper into sin. Enoch chose a different path. He chose to walk with God. This decision set him apart in a world consumed by corruption and decay. It highlighted Enoch's incredible faith, dedication, and resolve to live righteously in a time when sin was the norm. Genesis 5:22-24 provides us with an extraordinary account of Enoch's life. Enoch walked with God. Then he was no more, because God took him. Walking with God implies a continuous, intimate fellowship with the Creator. This wasn't just about following rules or adhering to rituals. For Enoch, it was a deep, personal relationship with God. It involved daily conversations, listening to God's guidance, and aligning his actions with God's will. This level of intimacy was unique and extraordinary. Enoch's life became a continuous journey of faith and devotion, where he prioritized God above all else. In those early days of humanity, lifespans were astonishingly long centuries. In fact, before God set the 120-year limit mentioned in Genesis 6:3. Yet, even among these long-lived individuals, Enoch's life was extraordinary. At 65, he became a father to Methuselah. But his true journey of faith began from that point onward, continuing for 365 years. His faith wasn't casual or distant. It was active, alive, and deeply pleasing to God. Enoch lived in complete harmony with God's will, a life of unwavering trust and obedience. The brevity of Enoch's account in Genesis has led to much speculation and elaboration in other ancient texts. The Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish religious work, expands on his story, portraying him as a scribe of righteousness and a mediator between God and humanity. It tells of Enoch's encounters with divine beings and his journeys through heavenly realms. These experiences reveal Enoch's exceptional spiritual stature and the divine mysteries he was privy to. He is described as one who saw visions of the future, traveled through different heavens, and received knowledge about God's plan for humanity. Jude 1:14-15 references Enoch as a prophet who spoke of a future day, when the Lord would return with countless holy ones to bring judgment upon the sinful world. His words stand as both a warning and a promise, calling out sin and pointing toward hope for the faithful. This prophetic role further highlights Enoch's significance as a man of deep spiritual insight and courage. The phrase "God took him" is no metaphor when it comes to Enoch. Hebrews 11:5-6 emphasizes this truth. By faith, Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Enoch's translation into heaven was an unparalleled act of divine favor, a reward for his faith and obedience. Luke includes Enoch in the genealogy of Jesus in Luke 3:37, tracing his lineage all the way back to Adam. This connection underscores Enoch's role in God's overarching plan for redemption. His great-grandson, Noah, would later follow his example of faith and righteousness. Enoch's story is a testament to the power of walking with God. It shows us that a life of faith and obedience can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Enoch didn't just live. He lived in close communion with God, and because of that, he was spared from death. His life challenges us to consider our own walk with God. Are we living in a way that pleases Him? Are we seeking Him earnestly? Enoch's example encourages us to deepen our relationship with God, to walk with Him daily, and to live lives that are pleasing in His sight. As we reflect on Enoch's remarkable journey, may we be inspired to pursue a closer walk with God, knowing that such a life is not only possible, but also deeply rewarding. Enoch's story doesn't end with his departure from earth. In the Book of Enoch, an ancient text attributed to him, we find deeper insights into his experiences. This book describes Enoch's journeys through the heavens, where he witnesses the divine order of the universe. He observes the courses of celestial bodies, the operations of the elements, and the dwellings of the righteous and the wicked. Enoch is shown the future, including the coming judgment and the fate of sinners. He sees the punishment of the fallen angels, known as the Watchers, who corrupted mankind. Enoch's role becomes that of an intermediary, conveying God's messages to these angels and to humanity. His visions emphasize the importance of righteousness and the certainty of divine justice. Through his experiences, Enoch gains profound wisdom and understanding of God's plans. He becomes a scribe of righteousness, recording the revelations he receives. Enoch's life and writings serve as a testament to the rewards of faith and obedience. His story encourages us to seek a closer relationship with God and to live according to His will. By walking with God, as Enoch did, we too can aspire to a life of purpose and divine favor. Absolutely, let's continue. We're still focusing on Enoch, deepening the divine insight while moving naturally toward the next extraordinary figure. Enoch didn't live in a perfect world. He lived in a time of violence, pride, and rebellion against God. But he didn't follow the crowd. He didn't conform. He chose the narrow path. He chose the path of light while the world walked in shadows. That choice cost him comfort. It cost him popularity, but it gained him eternity. His story isn't about escaping death, just to impress us. It's about what happens when a human heart stays close to God. It's about a man who loved the presence of God more than the pleasures of the world, and God noticed. God didn't let him die like the rest. God took him, just like that. One moment he was here, walking, breathing, living. The next he was gone. But not gone in sorrow, gone in glory, taken into the presence of God without passing through death. The Bible doesn't say Enoch was better than others. It says he walked with God. That was the difference. That was the miracle, and that is the call to us today, not to be better, but to walk with God, to trust Him, to love Him. To listen, to follow. Because the same God who took Enoch is watching us, and He still rewards faith. He still honors those who seek Him. This is not a fairy tale, it's a warning and a promise. Death is coming for all of us, but faith rewrites the story. Faith opens another door. Enoch's story is just the beginning. He wasn't the only one who escaped the grave. There were others, men who lived and walked and then vanished, lifted into eternity, and now we turn to another one, a man with fire in his story, a man who left the earth in a whirlwind, the second man who never died. Elijah. Let's go deeper. Let's follow the flame, because this isn't just history. This is a divine mystery unfolding, and you're meant to see it, you're meant to feel it. Let's keep going. Elijah. His name means my God is Yahweh, a declaration, a warning, a fire in human form. He didn't just serve God, he stood for him. He appeared suddenly in Scripture. No genealogy, no backstory, just fire, just purpose. He was sent to a broken kingdom. Israel had turned its back on God. The people worshipped Baal, a false god of storms and fertility. Their king, Ahab, was corrupt. His queen, Jezebel, was cruel. They ruled with fear. They silenced prophets. They killed the faithful, and into this chaos came Elijah, uninvited, unafraid. He walked into the king's court and spoke a drought into existence. No rain, no dew, until he said otherwise. Then he vanished. 3 years passed, the skies remained dry, crops failed, people starved. God was silent until Elijah returned, and when he came back, he came for a showdown. Mount Carmel. 1. Prophet of God. 450 prophets of Baal, all of Israel, watched. This wasn't just a contest, it was a confrontation between truth and deception, between light and darkness. Each side built an altar. Each called on their God. The prophets of Baal cried out from morning till evening. They shouted, they danced, they bled, but silence answered. Then Elijah stepped forward. He repaired the altar of the Lord. He poured water over the wood, so much water it filled the trench around it. Then he prayed. Simple words, powerful faith, and fire fell from heaven. It consumed the offering, the stones, the dust, the water, everything. The people fell on their faces. The Lord, He is God. They cried it out loud. Revival began with fire, but Elijah wasn't finished. He climbed higher up the mountain. He prayed again 7 times, and then a cloud the size of a man's hand appeared. Rain returned. The drought was over, but Elijah's journey wasn't, because Jezebel wanted him dead. She sent a message. You will be dead by tomorrow. And Elijah ran. The man of fire, running in fear. Even prophets have moments of weakness. Even warriors get weary. He fled into the wilderness. He sat under a broom tree and prayed to die. But God didn't abandon him. He sent an angel with food, with water, with rest. Then he called Elijah to a mountain. Not for fire, not for wind, not for an earthquake, but for a whisper, a still, small voice. That's where Elijah met God again. Not in fury, but in intimacy. And God gave him new instructions, new purpose. Elijah's work wasn't over. He anointed new kings. He found a successor, Elisha. And one day, as they walked together, it happened. A chariot of fire, horses of fire, a whirlwind, and Elijah was taken, lifted from earth. No death, no grave, just glory. He left his mantle behind, but he took his fire with him, second man in history, never to die. Elijah walked into eternity. A life lived with boldness. A heart forged in obedience, and God honored that. Enoch walked with God and vanished. Elijah burned with passion and ascended to men. 2 paths, one God, the same God, who still moves, still calls, still takes ordinary lives and does extraordinary things. This isn't mythology, it's reality, and it's not over. There's one more, one final man. A mystery in the New Testament, a name, a destiny yet to unfold. And now we come to the final man. A mystery tucked into the New Testament, a man many read about, but few realize what the Bible implies. John, not John the Baptist, but John, the beloved disciple, the one who leaned on Jesus' chest at the Last Supper, the one who stood at the cross when others fled, the one Jesus entrusted with the care of his mother, and the one who received the revelation. In John 21:22, Jesus says, "Something strange." Peter asked about John's fate, and Jesus replied, "If I want him to remain until I come, what is that to you?" And the rumor spread among the believers that John would not die. Now, Scripture clarifies he did not say John wouldn't die, but the mystery remains. John outlived all the apostles, he survived exile, he received visions from heaven, and when he penned the final words of Revelation, the Bible goes silent. We don't read about his death, no grave, no tomb, no bones, just silence. Could John be the third, taken, preserved, held, until the return of Christ? We can't say with certainty, but God often hides his greatest truths in mystery. What matters isn't speculation, it's the pattern. 3 men. Enoch walked so closely with God, he was taken. Elijah burned so brightly for God, he was lifted in fire. And John so beloved, he may have remained 3 men, 3 lives marked by intimacy with the undivine. They lived differently, they listened deeply, they obeyed completely, and death could not hold them. What does that mean for us? It means this: your walk with God matters, your obedience matters, your faithfulness matters. You don't have to be famous, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to walk, step by step, day by day, with Him, because when you walk with God, walks with you. Through valleys, through fire, even through death, and maybe, just maybe through something more. So today, remember, death isn't the end for the faithful, it's just a door, and for a few it was a door they never had to open. Let that truth burn in your heart, live ready, walk close, because who knows what God has prepared for those who love Him. If this message stirred something in your spirit of the stories of Enoch, Elijah, and John made you see your walk with God in a new light, and don't let this moment pass. Take a second and subscribe, not just to a channel, but to a deeper journey. Hit the like button if this opened your heart. Share this with someone who needs hope, someone who fears death, someone searching for truth. And in the comments, tell us, which of these stories moved you the most? What does walking with God mean to you? Let's create a space for revelation, for encouragement, for real spiritual growth. This channel isn't here to entertain, it's here to awaken. Every week, we go deeper into the mysteries of Scripture, into the heart of God. So if you're ready to walk closer, step into the light with us. You are not alone, you are chosen, you are loved, and this is just the beginning. Stay blessed and keep walking.